What if I told you that every single failure, every rejection, every moment you felt completely lost was actually the universe positioning you perfectly for your greatest breakthrough? Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds like another cheesy motivational post you'd skip on your feed. But here's the thing. What if this isn't just wishful thinking, but a 2,000-year-old philosophy that has transformed the lives of emperors, warriors, and everyday people throughout history? I'm talking about Stoicism, a philosophy that doesn't simply teach us how to weather life's storms, but to dance with them, transforming our deepest struggles into our greatest strengths. Today we're journeying deep into the essence of Stoic wisdom, uncovering how this eternal philosophy can serve as not just a lighthouse during our darkest nights, but a daily compass for purposeful living and unshakable resilience. Whether you're navigating personal tribulations, career obstacles, or simply the beautiful chaos of existence, Stoic principles provide a blueprint for not just enduring, but flourishing, revealing that true power to craft a meaningful life resides not in altering our circumstances, but in mastering our response to them. So if you've ever felt like you're perpetually swimming upstream, if you've ever questioned how to discover serenity within the tempest, or if you're simply intrigued by how timeless wisdom can enlighten our contemporary world, then you've found your sanctuary. Accompany me as we discover how to channel the core tenets of Stoicism, to metamorphose our challenges into our most profound triumphs, learning to exist with deliberate purpose, authenticity, and an unbreakable spirit. Let's begin this voyage together, uncovering how to transform the barriers in our journey into the foundation stones of our ultimate transformation. And as we commence this life-altering journey together, I encourage you to subscribe and remain with us for the entire experience. Every moment is designed to uplift and strengthen you, and you absolutely cannot miss a single element of this transformative exploration. Have you ever found yourself accepting less, settling for far less than your potential? This is the silent epidemic plaguing countless lives today, where we drift through days, months, or even entire years without ever challenging the invisible barriers we've constructed. But here's where the game-changing question, why not, enters the conversation. It's deceptively simple, yet it possesses the power to dismantle decades of self-imposed limitations and the fear that keeps us small. Now let's inject this with authentic Stoic wisdom. The ancient Stoics weren't passive observers, letting life unfold around them. They were strategic architects, continuously evaluating their existence, their choices, and their responses through the prism of virtue and relentless self-development. When confronted with adversity or a critical decision point, a true Stoic would challenge themselves. Why not choose the path that leads to genuine expansion? This isn't about mindless risk-taking. It's about intentional, purposeful decisions that resonate with your deepest values and your authentic self. So when you discover yourself at life's crossroads, feeling paralyzed or overwhelmed by venturing into uncharted territory or elevating your commitment, stop and challenge yourself. Why not? Why not pursue that leadership role, launch that creative venture, or make that courageous move toward your true calling? It's in these defining moments that our futures are forged. But here's the profound truth. Asking why not isn't merely about external obstacles. It's also about dismantling the internal stories that imprison us. It's about confronting the imposter syndrome, the fear of judgment, and the seductive safety of familiarity. It's a revolutionary call compelling you to transcend mediocrity and claim the extraordinary potential that lives within your core. Remember, every Stoic legend you've ever studied, from Marcus Aurelius to Epictetus, viewed challenges as catalysts for transformation. They didn't choose the path of least resistance and comfort. They actively sought the journey of virtue, resilience, and personal mastery. And that's precisely what you're doing when you challenge yourself. Why not? You're entering the arena prepared to engage authentically with existence, to evolve, to learn, and emerge transformed and enlightened. So the next time you find yourself paralyzed by doubt, remember this: you possess the power to rewrite your story. You have the courage to shatter your self-imposed boundaries. Embrace the Stoic philosophy, challenge yourself, why not? And witness how far your curiosity, determination, and unwavering commitment can propel you in the world of Stoicism. This unrelenting pursuit of excellence aligns perfectly with the profound concept of prokopton, the art of making consistent progress or being a perpetual work in progress. The ancient Stoics believed in mastering what they could influence, specifically their virtues, choices, and responses to life's circumstances. They weren't chasing perfection, they were chasing evolution. And that's exactly what I'm challenging you to pursue: consistent, relentless evolution. Consider this growth as the foundation of everything that truly matters. Whether it's honing your professional expertise, deepening your meaningful connections, or cultivating inner tranquility, the essence of a purposeful life is transformation. When you're genuinely committed to improving, you're naturally aligned with the Stoic virtue of self-mastery. You're devoted to the journey of becoming your highest self, not for recognition or external approval, but because it's the most authentic expression of living in accordance with your values. But here's the profound truth: being committed to improving isn't about being ruthless or judgmental with yourself. It's about embracing a compassionate, persistent dedication to your evolution. It's about honoring the incremental victories while remaining hungry for the next dimension of your transformation. And yes, there will be obstacles and disappointments along the way, but in true Stoic fashion, you'll perceive these not as failures, but as priceless lessons and building blocks on your journey to mastery. So how do you develop this commitment to improvement? Begin by establishing clear, intentional objectives that resonate with your deepest values. Reflect daily on your choices and decisions, challenging yourself, how they align with your vision for growth. Embrace challenges as opportunities to expand your capabilities and evolve. And most importantly, stay curious and receptive. Always willing to adapt and refine. Your methodology is boundless. There's always another dimension to explore, another skill to develop, another virtue to cultivate. And in this infinite journey, we discover our deepest joy and fulfillment. So let's embrace this unwavering commitment to evolving, not merely as a strategy for success, but as a fundamental way of being as we navigate this path together. Let's uplift and empower each other to transcend our limitations, to become the conscious creators of our reality, and to live each moment with intention, passion, and an insatiable hunger for transformation. Stoics are renowned for their fortitude, their unwavering resolve, and their absolute dedication to their principles when they commit to something. They invest their entire essence not for the sake of praise or external validation, but because they comprehend that this complete investment is the very essence of living a virtuous, purposeful existence. They don't approach their responsibilities or passions with half measures. Instead, they channel their entire being into their endeavors, embodying the profound truth that the value of our actions resides not in their results, but in the intensity of our commitment. Giving it everything you possess is about directing your energy, focus, and dedication into your pursuits. Whatever they may be, it's about awakening each day and consciously deciding that you're not going to drift through existence passively, but instead you're going to actively craft your reality with your thoughts, choices, and actions. It's about not merely envisioning greatness, but also embodying greatness, taking those courageous, decisive steps that accelerate your progress, even when the journey is filled with obstacles and uncertainties. But here's a profound insight. Giving it everything you possess isn't merely about what you accomplish. It's also about how you approach it. It's about engaging with your responsibilities, your relationships, and your personal development with authenticity, passion, and integrity. It's about being completely present and invested. Whether you're executing a project, connecting with loved ones, or contemplating your evolution, and when challenges emerge, as they inevitably will, it's about confronting them with bravery and resilience, harnessing your inner strength to overcome adversity. So how can you begin giving it everything you possess in your own existence? Start by recognizing what genuinely resonates with you, your fundamental values, your most meaningful aspirations, and your deepest passions. Then dedicate yourself to pursuing these. With your entire heart and soul, establish elevated standards for yourself and commit to meeting them each day, not from a place of duty, but because you're motivated by an authentic desire to live completely and genuinely. Remember, giving it everything you possess isn't a single event. It's a fundamental approach to life. It's a conscious choice you make every day, in every moment, with every breath. And as you embrace this philosophy, you'll discover that it not only accelerates you toward your aspirations, but also brings a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose to your journey. So let's commit to this path together, uplifting and empowering each other to give our all, to live with unwavering passion and purpose, and to create a legacy of excellence and virtue that endures. Because in the end, it's not merely about what we accomplish, but who we become in the process. We exist in a world that's overflowing with distractions, temptations, and let's be completely honest, countless reasons to deviate from our course. But here's where the true transformation occurs. When you commit to your path despite all the noise and chaos surrounding you, you're making a declaration for something greater. You're honoring your journey, your values, and ultimately yourself. Stoics comprehended that life is filled with distractions that can lead us away from our authentic purpose. But they also understood the power of maintaining course, of remaining unwavering in their dedication to their principles and aspirations. For Stoics, staying on your path wasn't merely about personal achievement. It was a matter of integrity and character. So what does it mean for you to stay on your path? It means being crystal clear about your direction in life, Knowing what you represent, what you're working toward, and what kind of person you aspire to become, it means setting your compass and navigating by it even when storms emerge and the waters become turbulent. But here's the essential truth. Staying on your path doesn't mean being rigid or inflexible. Life is unpredictable, and part of staying true to your course is being adaptable. Learning from your experiences and adjusting your approach when necessary. What truly matters is that these adjustments are always in harmony with your fundamental values and ultimate vision. So how can you ensure you're staying on your path? It begins with self-awareness. Take time to contemplate your values, your aspirations, and your vision for your existence. Document them. Revisit them regularly and use them as your guiding compass. Cultivate the discipline to make choices that align with your path, even when they're demanding or unpopular. And remember, resilience is essential when you encounter obstacles or setbacks. Perceive them as opportunities to fortify your determination and deepen your commitment to your journey. We're frequently taught to keep our focus on the destination, measuring success by the results we achieve. But what if I revealed to you that there's tremendous freedom and power in releasing your attachment to outcomes? This is where Stoicism excels, offering us a profoundly liberating perspective that can revolutionize our approach to life and our understanding of success. The ancient Stoics teach us that there are elements within our control and elements beyond it. Our efforts, intentions, and attitudes, those are within our power. But the outcomes, they often involve factors that are beyond our influence. When we obsess over results, we set ourselves up for frustration, disappointment, and even despair because we're clinging to something we can't truly control. So what does it mean to shift your focus away from outcomes? It means investing your entire essence into your endeavors, giving your absolute best to the task at hand. Whether it's a professional project, a personal aspiration, or a meaningful relationship, it means engaging completely with the process, embracing the challenges and learning opportunities it presents without being excessively attached to the final result. Imagine how liberating it feels to execute your work with passion and dedication, not because of what it might bring you in terms of rewards or recognition, but simply because you believe in what you're doing. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, finding satisfaction and meaning in your actions themselves, not merely in their potential fruits. But let's be completely clear, not focusing on outcomes doesn't mean being apathetic to success or neglecting to set goals. Instead, it's about redefining success in terms of your own actions and character. Did you act with integrity, courage, and commitment? Did you evolve and learn? These are the authentic measures of success in the Stoic philosophy. So how can you begin incorporating this mindset into your existence? Start by contemplating your values and the kind of person you aspire to become. Establish your goals with these in mind, focusing more on the qualities you want to develop and the actions you want to take, rather than the external rewards you hope to achieve. When you discover yourself becoming anxious about outcomes, gently remind yourself of what's genuinely within your control and try to redirect your energy toward your efforts and attitudes. Imagine living your existence as a mirror reflecting back not merely what you project outwardly, but also what resides within you. If you are consumed with negativity, fear, or bitterness, These traits will permeate your experiences and interactions. Conversely, if you cultivate virtues like kindness, resilience, and integrity, these qualities will radiate through your life, attracting positive experiences and relationships. The ancient Stoics emphasized the importance of developing a strong, virtuous character because they comprehended that this is the foundation upon which a meaningful life is built. They believe that you cannot control the world around you, but you can control who you choose to become within that world. And by focusing on being the highest version of yourself, you naturally create a life that reflects those qualities. But how can you embody this principle of you get what you are in your daily existence? Begin by engaging in regular self-reflection. Examine your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors critically but compassionately, identifying areas where you can evolve and improve actively. Cultivate virtues that resonate with you, whether that's courage in the face of adversity, perseverance in pursuit of your aspirations, or compassion towards others. Remember, this isn't about being flawless or never making mistakes. It's about being conscious of your internal state and its external manifestations. It's about striving to align your actions with your highest values and principles, even when it's demanding and when you stumble, as we all inevitably do. It's about possessing the humility and resilience to learn from your experiences and continue your journey of self-development. By embracing this Stoic wisdom, you empower yourself to be the conscious creator of your reality. You recognize that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you have tremendous power over how you respond and who you choose to become. And as you align your being with your highest ideals, you'll discover that the world around you begins to reflect that same quality and depth. Now contemplate the obstacles you've encountered in your own existence. We all have them, whether they're minor inconveniences or monumental setbacks. Our instinctive reaction might be frustration, discouragement, or even despair. But what if instead we perceive these obstacles as hidden gifts, as catalysts for personal development and self-discovery? That's the essence of the Stoic principle. When the ancient Stoics spoke of obstacles, they weren't being dismissive or minimizing life's hardships. They fully acknowledged the pain and difficulty that challenges can bring. However, they also believe that within every obstacle lies the seed of an equal or greater benefit. It's not the obstacle itself that defines our experience, but our reaction to it. By choosing to perceive the obstacle as a pathway, we shift from being passive victims of our circumstances to active, empowered agents of transformation. So how can you apply the obstacle is the way in your daily existence? Begin by reframing your perspective. When you encounter a challenge, pause and challenge yourself. What can I learn from this? How can this situation help me evolve? Instead of allowing obstacles to drain your energy and spirit, use them as building blocks to develop resilience, creativity, and perseverance. Embrace the understanding that the most rewarding paths often include the steepest climbs. The struggles you endure, the barriers you overcome, and the persistence you exhibit all contribute to your character development and personal narrative. Each obstacle is an opportunity to practice virtues like patience, courage, and adaptability, shaping you into a stronger, wiser individual. Moreover, remember that overcoming obstacles often requires innovative thinking and a willingness to venture off the conventional path. It's in these moments of trial that we're pushed to expand our horizons, to think beyond conventional boundaries, and to discover new strengths we didn't know we possessed. In embracing the Stoic approach to obstacles, we also cultivate a sense of gratitude for the growth they enable. We learn to appreciate the journey with all its twists and turns, recognizing that the most profound lessons are often learned in the face of adversity, in the grand tapestry of existence. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of our ambitions or the complexity of the challenges we face. We might question, what difference can my small contribution possibly make? But here's the profound truth. Every significant achievement is the sum of its parts, each one crafted by individual, seemingly insignificant actions. The ancient Stoics understood that we don't control the grand outcomes. We control our choices moment by moment. They teach us to focus on the present, to do what is right and necessary now, without becoming paralyzed by the magnitude of the task at hand or excessively fixated on the distant goal. Do what little you can as a call to action, urging us to engage with existence actively and purposefully, no matter how small or humble our contributions may appear. So how can we embody this principle? Begin by breaking down your larger goals into smaller actionable steps. Focus on what you can achieve today, even if it's just one tiny step forward. Remember, it's about consistency and persistence, not the magnitude of the action. Each small step is a building block, creating a foundation that will ultimately support your larger aspirations. Moreover, this Stoic mindset encourages us to find value and meaning in the process itself, not merely the end result. When we focus on doing what little we can, we become more present, more engaged, and often more effective. We learn to appreciate the journey with all its twists and turns, recognizing that growth and fulfillment come from our daily efforts and attitudes. In embracing this philosophy, we also cultivate humility and resilience. We acknowledge that we are not all-powerful, but we also affirm our agency and impact. We learn to be resourceful, to adapt, and to persevere, even when progress seems slow or invisible in a world where success is often measured by material wealth, job titles, or social media followers. It's easy to lose sight of what genuinely matters. But what if we took a step back and reevaluated our criteria for success? The ancient Stoics teach us that authentic success is not about acquiring things or impressing others. It's about developing a strong character, living in accordance with nature, and fulfilling our roles as human beings. It's about being honest, just courageous and wise regardless of our circumstances. This approach to success is incredibly empowering because it places the power firmly in our own hands. We may not be able to control the economy, the job market, or the opinions of others, but we can always control our own virtues and actions. So how can we begin to transform our definition of success? It starts with introspection. Take some time to contemplate what you genuinely value and what kind of person you aspire to become. Consider the qualities you admire in others and aspire to develop in yourself. Then establish goals that align with these values, focusing on your personal growth and how you can contribute positively to the lives of others. Redefining success also means learning to appreciate the process, not merely the outcome. Celebrate your efforts, resilience, and progress, even if they don't lead to immediate rewards. Remember, success in Stoicism is as much about how you face challenges and setbacks as it is about achieving your goals. It's about maintaining your integrity and equanimity, regardless of external conditions. Additionally, transforming your definition of success can lead to greater fulfillment and happiness when you're not constantly chasing external validation. You're free to focus on what genuinely brings you joy and satisfaction. You'll likely discover that pursuing virtue in meaningful engagement with the world is far more rewarding than any external achievement could ever be in a society where so much emphasis is placed on approval and validation from others. It's easy to lose ourselves, to forget our core values and motivations in the pursuit of being liked. But Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to this external orientation, reminding us that our worth and our choices should be grounded in our own principles and virtues, not in the fleeting opinions of others. The ancient Stoics teach us that seeking approval can be a form of enslavement. We become hostages to the whims and judgments of others, allowing their perceptions to dictate our actions and our self-esteem. But when we liberate ourselves from this need for external validation, we gain a profound sense of freedom and authenticity. We can act according to our own values and beliefs, pursuing what we genuinely think is right and meaningful, regardless of whether it wins us popularity or praise. So how can we begin to detach our actions from the desire to be liked first and foremost? It requires developing a strong sense of self-awareness. We need to understand our motivations to distinguish between actions driven by a desire for external validation and those rooted in our authentic selves. This isn't always effortless. It requires honesty and introspection, but it's a crucial step toward living a more genuine and fulfilling existence. Next, we need to cultivate confidence in our own judgments and decisions. The ancient Stoics emphasize the importance of reason and wisdom in guiding our actions. When we trust our own reasoning and align our actions with our reasoned convictions, we become less dependent on others' approval. We can stand firm in our choices even when they're unpopular or misunderstood, because we know they're grounded in our deepest principles. It's also essential to embrace the idea that not being liked by everyone is not only acceptable, but it's normal and inevitable. We are all unique individuals with our own values, beliefs, and perspectives. It's impossible to please everyone, and attempting to do so would require us to be constantly changing and adapting to others' expectations, losing our sense of self in the process. By focusing on being authentic and true to ourselves, we attract the right kind of relationships, those based on genuine respect and shared values. And even when we face criticism or rejection, we can take solace in knowing that we're living with integrity, true to our Stoic principles in a world that constantly demands our time, attention, and energy. Learning to say no is an invaluable skill. It's not merely about rejecting things we don't want to do. It's about affirming our priorities, our values, and our autonomy. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's genuinely important and within our control. And sometimes that means declining requests, opportunities, or even demands that don't align with our core values. The ancient Stoics were advocates of living in accordance with nature, which included recognizing and honoring our own limits. They understood that our time and energy are finite resources and that we must be judicious in how we allocate them. Saying no then becomes a crucial exercise in discernment, a way of ensuring that we're dedicating ourselves to what's genuinely meaningful and beneficial, not merely what's urgent or requested of us. But let's be completely honest, saying no can be incredibly challenging. It requires courage, especially when we're conditioned to please or when we fear missing out or disappointing others. However, the Stoic approach teaches us to value our own judgment and to make decisions based on reason and virtue, not on fear or social pressure. When we say no from a place of calm conviction, we're not merely declining an offer, we're making a profound statement about our priorities and our commitment to living authentically. So how can we develop mastery at saying no? It begins with clarity, knowing what you represent, what you value, and what goals you're pursuing. When you have a clear sense of your direction and your principles, it becomes easier to identify which requests align with your path and which don't. And remember, saying no doesn't have to be harsh or confrontational. It can be done with kindness and respect, expressing gratitude for the offer while firmly declining. Moreover, practicing saying no can be liberating. It frees you from unnecessary burdens and commitments, allowing you to focus on what genuinely matters. It also builds self-respect as you learn to honor your own needs and boundaries, and perhaps surprisingly, it can lead to greater respect from others who will recognize your clarity of purpose and your integrity. How can one truly let go with indifference? It's about understanding and internalizing the distinction between what we can control and what we can't. We can control our efforts, our attitudes, our virtues, but we can't control the outcomes, the actions of others, or the whims of fate. When we truly grasp this, we begin to free ourselves from the frustration, anxiety, and disappointment that come from clinging to things beyond our control. But let's be completely clear. Letting go with indifference doesn't mean not caring about anything. It means caring deeply about the right things, the things that are genuinely up to us, and accepting the rest with equanimity. It's about investing our energy wisely, pouring our passion and efforts into our actions, and releasing our attachment to the results. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you stopped agonizing over every little thing that didn't go your way. If you stopped getting entangled in dramas that don't genuinely concern your core duties and values. This is the liberation that Stoicism offers, a path to inner peace and resilience, no matter what existence throws your way. So how can we cultivate this art of letting go with indifference? It begins with mindfulness, with paying attention to our reactions, and gently reminding ourselves to distinguish between what's in our power and what's not. It involves practice too. Like any skill worth mastering, we can start small with the trivial annoyances of daily existence and gradually work our way up to bigger challenges. And as we practice, we will likely discover something remarkable. The less we try to control the uncontrollable, the more control we actually have over ourselves and our responses. We'll discover a new sense of tranquility and clarity even in the midst of chaos. As we navigate through existence, embracing the wisdom of Stoicism, we learn that our greatest strength lies within in our ability to choose our response, to focus on what genuinely matters, and to release with grace. Remember, the path to serenity and fulfillment is not found in external accolades or possessions, but in the cultivation of virtue, resilience, and inner peace. These 12 Stoic secrets we've explored today are not just ancient wisdom, they're practical tools for modern living, each one a stepping stone toward becoming the person you're meant to be. If this video resonated with you, if even one principle spoke to your soul, then you're already on the path to transformation. Hit that subscribe button, and join our growing community of seekers and doers who refuse to settle for mediocrity, who choose to live with intention and purpose. Share this video with someone who needs it, because wisdom is meant to be shared, not hoarded. And remember, the ocean of life may be vast and unpredictable, but with Stoic principles as your compass, you can navigate any storm with grace and strength. Thank you for being part of Stoic Ocean, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and keep sailing toward your best self.